Welcome to DIY Reefers. Today I'm changing the filters for the RODI system. I'm starting with the carbon filter, and the reason why I'm changing it first is because before I can actually put it into the system, I need to let water run through it for 30 minutes. This is just per the instructions. You have to let this amount of water run through it, or through this time frame, to get the all the loose carbon sediment, I guess, to get it out. Because when I actually first hook it up, you can see the water turn black and a bunch of it come out of the filter because it has to run through first. So I'm actually changing 3 filters today. I'm going to be changing the carbon filter, the inline sediment filter, and the deionization filter. All these filters combined together in the system are just different layers to filter the water to get to 0 TDS before I can add the salt mixture for the aquarium. Because I want to get the aquarium water to a certain parameter, it needs to be pretty much at base 0 before I add anything to get it to the correct parameters for the aquarium. So that is the purpose of actually running the tap water through the RODI system to get out all of the contaminants that are in the water. And like I said, the first thing I'm going to change is the carbon filter. I usually change these about every 6 months. You can actually look at the deionization filter and see that it's orange in color, and it's orange pretty much about halfway through that whole filter. You can actually use it until it goes all the way through, but I don't like to use it that long. I don't want to get all the way to the end of the life of the filter before I change it out, because it could potentially do harm to the aquarium by maybe letting some of those contaminants go through, and I don't want to have the effect or the change in the chemistry of my water. So I just change it before that even happens. And I've already ran the water through the carbon filter for about 30 minutes. That's why you can kind of see some of that water still bubbling out, and the water's off, but that's just residual water that's in there that's just coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lines hooked all back in for the carbon filter, and then I'm going to come in and change out the sediment filter. You'll notice a big difference in the sediment filter when I get ready to change the old one to the new one. Of course, you can't really tell with the carbon filter because it is enclosed and it's not transparent. But because I'm changing 2 other filters every 6 months, I change the carbon filter as well, even though I can't really see the carbon and see what kind of effects it might have. I mean, it's going to be just black looking charcoal, so not going to be really much of a change to look at anyway. But with the sediment filter, I'll be able to tell that the new filter is going to be transparent and white, whereas this filter, you can tell, is pretty old. And this is the very first step, stopping the filtration that comes through here before it even gets to the carbon, and it catches all the heavy sediments in the water. So I'll go ahead and change out that filter, get it hooked back in. Once I do that, I'll disconnect the RODI, well, not the RODI, but the deionization filter, and get that one changed out also. And I like to go ahead and write the dates on these filters, whereas you can see that I wrote the date on this one and the date on the carbon filter and the deionization filter as well. That way I know, even when I'm looking at it, like, okay, this filter has been on here for about 3 or 4 months, I should probably look at changing it soon, or I can at least look at it and maybe check the life of the filter. So like I said, because this filter's been on here for 6 months, but the filter is not at the end of its life, but I'm changing it before 6 months. Now it still looks dark past halfway of that deionization filter, but you can tell the major difference when the water actually fills up into the canister. So it looks orange without water in it at the bottom, but you can still see a lot of the change throughout the end of that filter. So it's actually a lot more used up than you can actually tell when it doesn't have any water in the system. And I'll go ahead and put it on the new deionization filter. All the filters are now in. I'm going to get all the hoses connected back, and I'm going to turn on the water, make sure there's no leaks. Once there's no leaks, the system will be ready for use, and I'll go ahead and start making water. Once I make the first batch of water, I'll usually test it to see where it is, to make sure there's no contaminants still in the water. Usually there is, and I'm going through the new system. But this is the first process, or the first step in the process of getting the water to the actual aquarium, and pretty much the most important part of the process. And I just like to do it this way because it saves me a lot of time, energy, and money, and I don't have to keep going back and forth to the fish store getting buckets of water. I can just do it right here in my garage. But thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you.